Welcome back to the channel. Today you join me on a glorious Sunday Scottish morning. I believe it was -2 or 3 yesterday and it's currently sitting at about 5 just now, which gives me a bit more motivation for the job that I'm about to do today. So what I am doing today is I rent a local garage just to store a car in, and that car is for sale. And I've had a lot of interest in it, but as per usual, no one's came to see it or turned up or anything like that. But I know for a 100% fact that the front left tyre will be flat. I've no idea about the battery, so my job today is just to go along, hopefully it'll start, get it out and pump the tyre up and just make sure everything's all good in case someone decides to come along and buy it. So the car I'm actually in just now is my new daily. I've had it about a month and so far it's amazing. It's a Mercedes E350. I've done a cold start video on it a couple of videos back, and it's nothing particularly interesting that I would do a YouTube video on. It's just a new daily for me. I've always had cheap runabouts, Mark IV Golfs, 1.2s just for the winter, something like that. And the Passat that I'm selling was my daily, but it just got too far gone. You know, you're working on it more than you're driving it. So I swapped another car I had for the Mercedes, and I'm not sure if the way I'm uploading videos makes it look like I own a lot of cars, but the matter of the fact is that I've got the Mercedes, I've got the Passat that I'm selling, and I've got the Integra, as well as the K-Swap coupe that my dad owns. I can do a video on that as well, which I've had a fair amount of interest in, so that's definitely going to be on the cards. So just now I need to nip into the garage where the Integra and that is, and I've got some stuff to take along to the rented garage. So I've done a bit of sorting out and I've got the jump leads for the Passat. That's a spare ST180 headlight that I'm going to give to a friend, some cardboard rubbish, and I've got 2 boxes of spares that I'm taking along for the Passat. This is the standard air box because it's got the S2000 air filter on it, and if you're not sure what that is, because it's a Honda air filter on a Passat, check the video that I'm going to stick somewhere and it'll take you to show you exactly what that's like if you're interested. And then there's just more spares in there, like it's got a tuned DC unit apparently, and the original one's in there. But yeah, it's nice to get some things sorted out. I mean, the front of the Integra was absolutely rammed with stuff, but I mean, it's a little better. My dad's one of those guys that he'll bring so much stuff into the garage, leave it lying and forget about it, and then when I mention it, it's an ongoing project. Like, he's got a lawnmower there and loads of other junk just lying around, and he blames me and he says, "Oh, you've left that lying," and I'm like, "You've got a lawnmower in front of the coupe, like what's happening with that?" I don't know if it's just him, but apparently I'm the mess. I actually remembered that I bought this cheap and nasty air compressor for the Passat tyre. I've not used it yet, but I've genuinely never had one of these in my life. So we'll see how this performs. I'm sure it said it's at 4.5 or 4 to 5 minutes from flat to full, so I'll be the decider of that. So that's me along at the garage just now, as you can see. So I'm going to open it up, see what condition it's in, and fingers crossed it starts. So as expected, I knew the tyre was going to be completely flat. Not sure about the others, some moss falling on top of it. Let's see the others, it seems to be alright. So there's that, and I can't quite get to the other side. So I'll open it up and check if this thing starts. One thing I was worried about is if there was going to be mould in here, because it is quite a damp garage. So far, can't see anything. Usually the steering wheel and the gear knob. As you can see, I've got a fancy Momo in there. I actually went as far as getting V6 or W8 wooden trims for this, I think I was only missing the surround that goes around this fancy max speed flip out screen. I actually got that on eBay for £40 and it's probably the best £40 I've ever spent. Now that the bonnet's open, I'm just going to check all the fluids, make sure everything's all good for starting. Like I mentioned earlier, that is a Honda S2000 air filter. Now, whoever decided I'm going to try and put a Honda S2000 air filter on a Passat PD130 air MAF sensor deserves a handshake, because that's just crazy to me. If you do require any more information about this, then I do have a video on it. It's one of the first videos I ever done surprisingly well on views, so if you want to check that out, please do. And if you want to know anything from this video, then just comment below. So check the coolant, and it seems to be all good at the right level. Check the oil. Dirty diesel, usual. Pitch black, but it's at the max, so all good there. Typical Volkswagen dipstick stuff, had to replace that. But I think we'll give it a whirl. So I'll give it a few glow plug cycles, see if we've got anything. The steering lock's on. Well, that sounded powerful. Give it a few more cycles. And survey says perfect. So I'm going to drive it out and then pump the tyre up. So happy it started. Saved me a lot of grief. Believe it or not, but that's actually a brand new tyre. I think I've got some corrosion underneath the rim, which is letting some air out. Well, clearly. I've unboxed this thing, just make sure it works. Whoever wrapped this power cord around the back here needs sacked, just saying. So plug that in, try it. Perfect. Put that on there. And see how long this takes. Whilst that tyre inflator is vibrating away to itself, I may as well just put this in the garage as well. Two birds with one stone, as they say. Pretty smoky in here, but that tyre seems to be alright. Oh, I need to get out of here, this is terrible. So that's showing 40 psi. I started that at 23 minutes past 12 and it's now almost half past. So, I mean, not too bad for £17 I think it was. Done the job. I think I'll just keep that in here because it's only the car that I'm going to really need to use it on until it sells, and in the meantime, whilst it was pumping up, I got rid of some of the rubbish that was lying around in the door cards, glove box, etc. I mean, for being a 2001, it does have a really nice interior. I mean, I've done my own bits like the wooden trim, the aftermarket stereo, and the fancy gear knob. I would like to stay around and give it a proper heat up. It's not even moved on the gauge yet, just been a diesel and it's cold. I mean, what's that? 5.5 degrees. But I'm going to stick it back in the garage because that's all I really wanted to do, is just make sure it started, make sure it ran alright, pump the tyre up, test my new pressure machine, and everything's worked, everything's went well. So when I'm reversing it back in, I'll give a few revs just so you know what the the intake sounds like. So that's it back in the garage, all good. Tyre pumped up, started, ran, no problem. Good just to make sure it's all good. Oh, you can actually see all the diesel reek on the camera there. I mean, it's a totally standard car, but it's got an EGR delete and a mapped ECU, but I'm not one of these folks that talks about figures and torque and all that when I don't have any proof. But it does run very well for what it is, and the MPG it produces is incredible. But that's all the job's done for the day. It's just a good reminder that if anyone does want to come and see it, I don't need to do this whilst they're trying to buy the car. Got some stuff out the garage as well, which is all good. So that's it from me today, and if you're still watching this video, thank you very much. Any view, any like, any comment, and especially a subscription is very much appreciated by me. Like I said in my first proper vlog style video, is this is stuff I would be doing anyway, but I think some people might be interested in watching this sort of stuff because I know I do, and it's just nice to stick on in the background, or you know, even take a genuine interest in the stuff that I'm doing. So if you got this far, thank you very much. Again, I'm always up for knowledge and advice, so if there's anything that I can improve on, anything else you want to see, or you want me to change up a little, then please let me know in the comments, because I'm all for it. Without criticism, you don't improve and you don't get anywhere. And I'm obviously new to this whole vlog talking on the camera thing, because as I mentioned in my first video, it's just not for me. But however, I've done a couple of videos and I'm actually pretty enjoying it. Next video I'm sure is going to be the K-swap coupe that's in the garage. A few people have commented on that and also mentioned me in a chat that I'm in, that they would like to see it, so I thought why not. It was my first big project, my first ever engine swap. At that time I done it for a pretty good price compared to nowadays, because everything's plug and play and it's a bit more expensive, whereas I done it as a bit more DIY, but it worked. That car took me from here at East Edinburgh to Amsterdam and back twice, so it wasn't really a cowboy job, it was just, you know, working with what you had at the time, and it was a success. So I'd like to share that story, and it's quite interesting for me as well to look back on how much I've spent, how much I've done the job for, remind myself that I actually achieved something pretty decent for being a first time engine swap. So that will be the next video, so if you're interested in that, please hit that subscribe button, give the video a like if you enjoyed, and again, any comments, just leave them below and I'll 100% get back to you. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.